Hello and welcome to Daily News Simplified, an answer to what, why, and how of newspaper analysis from the perspective of UPSC examination. Today we have taken up important news and article from The Hindu and Indian Express newspaper, New Delhi edition dated 29 December 2023. As the practice goes, we have segregated our discussion into two parts, that is prelims and mains. For prelims, we have taken up 5 topics, and for mains, we have taken up 2 topics. So, the first topic for prelims discussion is based on, that is, Mudiyettu. Now, a picture featured in The Hindu newspaper which shows the depiction of Mudiyettu. We are not going into details because we have a practice question based on this. Second question is based on the zero coupon, zero principal financial instrument, because SEBI has came up with the regulation or norms regarding the same. Third is again a question from art and culture theme, because again there is an exhibition related to Warli paintings. Fourth question is based on Indus river system because of the Satluj-Yamuna link canal dispute between Haryana and Punjab. Fifth question is based on the Collegium system. Now, Supreme Court, the Collegium led by Supreme Court Chief Justice has recommended the name of judges of High Court for elevation, for the purpose of elevation as Chief Justice of High Courts. For mains discussion, we have taken up 2 topics, that is challenges pertaining to farming sector, because there is an article which relates recent events of illegal migration, out migration from India to the challenges or distress in the farming sector. Secondly, due to recent visit of our External Affairs Minister to Russia, we have taken up the topic of Indo-Russia ties in context of this visit only. So, if you like our initiative, please, if you find it useful, please like and subscribe our channel and do share it with your friends and peer group. So, without any further ado, let's begin our discussion, and let's take us the first topic of prelims discussion. And as we discussed, there was a picture which depicts the Mudiyettu. So, art form and related information are very important from the perspective of UPSC examination. As you can see in 2017 itself, UPSC has asked a question based on Manipuri Sankirtana, and they had given you some features of it and asked you to find the correct ones. So, we have taken up the practice MCQ based on the folk theatres in India. So, you have been given 2 tables. In first table, there are a list of folk theatre, and in second, the states. You have to find the correct pairs. So, first is Mudiyettu, second is Bhanpather, and third is Yakshagana. So, before finding the option, correct option, let us go into the detail of Mudiyettu, Bhanpather, and Yakshagana. So, as picture depicts, Mudiyettu is traditional folk culture in the state of Kerala. Now, it depicts the mythological stories, especially related to the battle between goddess Kali and demon Darika. So, as this is depiction of goddess Kali, it is termed as an offshoot culture of Bhadrakali cult. Okay. Now, another important information related to this dance form is that in 2010, it was listed as UNESCO's representative list of the intangible cultural heritage of humanity. And it is also important to know that it is the second art form from Kerala to feature in this list apart from Kudiyattam. Okay. Second, the Yakshagana. Now, this is traditional theatre of the state of Karnataka, and it also depicts mythological stories and Puranas. And now, through this picture, you can understand the peculiar feature is large headgears, okay, and elaborative makeup, wearing ornament and colorful dresses. So these are the peculiar feature of Yakshagana, and it belongs to the state of Karnataka. Third is Bhand Pather. Now, this is a tradition folk dance or theater from Kashmir. Now, uniqueness of this is there is no defined script. So there is always an scope of innovativeness in their presentation because there is no script. Third important feature is it is usually held in open spaces, as you can see in this picture also, this being depicted in an open ground. So now you can attempt this question and find the correct answer, that none of the pair is correctly matched because Mudiyettu is related to state of Kerala, while Bhanpather is related to Kashmir region, and third is Yakshagana, which is related to state of Karnataka. So our answer would be D, that is none of the above. Now answer for this PYQ is B, that is 1 and 3 only. Now the second question, as we discussed, that is based upon a financial instrument, that is zero coupon, zero principal instrument, and it has been created for the non-profit organizations. Okay, so what is it? SEBI has come up with a roadmap, or you may say regulation for this that has to be followed. So before moving to that, let us understand in crude terms what is NPOs. What is this zero coupon, zero principal instrument? So as I told you that this is a financial instrument. Now non-profit organizations for their funding were dependent upon donations, okay, and grants or the CSR funds of corporates. Fine. So now this instrument, that is zero coupon, zero principal instrument, it will be listed in the social stock exchange. Now, if somebody, like if an entity X wants to donate to a non-profit organization, what one will do? Just a moment. So if an entity wants to give donation or to fund an non-profit organization, what in this method, what it will do, that it will purchase a security or financial instrument which is listed in the social security exchanges. Okay, so they can purchase this instrument from there, and through this they can donate it to NPO. Another feature is that this instrument must be registered in such exchanges. Okay. Another important feature is that this instrument is for a fixed period, a specified period rather say, and for a specified purpose. Okay. So this is an instrument which will help the non-profitable organization to raise funds or raise donations. Fine. So having said that, what is the difference between bond and this zero coupon and zero principal? Why the name is like that? Because in bond, when bond gets matured, the entity has to pay the principal amount plus the interest amount. But this is not the case with the zero coupon instruments, because they are not raising any fund for business, they are raising donations, so they don't have to pay the principal or the interest. So these are the basic information related to this zero coupon, zero principal, and that is why the name. Coupon means interest, so zero interest and zero principal. So let us take up the question, because UPSC has been asking question based on the important developments in the economic sector, and important instrument in the mobilization of resources and all. As in 2023, they have asked a question based on the capital market and the instruments there. So we have taken up question based on the zero coupon, zero principal instrument. First statement says that all social enterprises can issue zero coupon, zero principal instrument to raise funds. Now this is an incorrect statement, because only non-profit organization can issue such instruments. Second statement says that all zero coupon, zero principal instruments will have to mandatorily list on any stock exchange. Now this is again incorrect. It is not any stock exchange but social stock exchange. Fine. Now third statement says that social enterprises raising funds through zero coupon, zero principal need to pay back neither coupon, that is interest, nor principal on the maturity of the instrument. Now this is one of the important feature, and that is why the name. So this statement is correct. So only one statement is correct. Our answer would be A, that is only one, while answer for this PYQ is B, that is only 2. You can take a screenshot of the detail feature of this instrument and what are the regulation that has been issued by SEBI in this regard. So just for future references. So let's move on to the next question, which is based on the Warli paintings. Now there is an exhibition which is titled organized by Inherited Arts Forum, and which depicts the various characteristic features and various elements constituting the Warli paintings. So as we discussed, that art form is very important from the UPSC perspective. As you can see, in 2013 they have asked a question based on Bani Thani painting, and they have asked to which school it belongs. So answer was the Kishangarh school, one of the very famous painting in the Indian landscape of art and culture. So we have taken up a question in listing the features of Warli painting. You have to find the correct features. So question is that with respect to Warli painting, consider the following statement. Statement 1 says it is a type of Indian folk painting practiced in the state of Rajasthan, India. Now this is an incorrect statement, because this painting belongs to state of Maharashtra, and as the name suggests, this painting is associated with the Warli tribes. Okay. Second statement says the ritualistic painting has central motif of a chalk or chalkhut. Third says this is made using a set of geometric shapes, that is like circle, triangle and a square. Fourth statement says for the painting only red pigment is used. So to answer this, let us quickly go through some important features of Warli painting. Fine. So here in this picture you can see the depiction of a typical Warli painting. Okay. So yes, here you can see in the center of this painting, it has a central motif of chalkhut or chalk. Now surrounding this central part, see it, which is chalk or chalkhut, and surrounding this central part there is depiction of general social life like farming, dancing, animals and etc. They generally among the goddess, they depict god Palaghata, that is goddess of fertility, while male gods are represented as spirits who have taken human form. The another statement was related to the geometric shape. So yes, it is correct. This is they use basic geometric shape like circle, triangle, square, and they have symbolic significance, because a circle represents sun and moon, while triangle represents a mountain or a conical tree, okay, as the shape suggests, while the square depicts a sacred enclosure or a piece of land. Fine. Now, another important feature that you can see from this picture itself, that background, that is base of the painting, is made of red ochre color, okay, which is made out of mud, branches and cow dung. Okay. Now, painting itself is only white pigment is used for painting purpose, okay, which is made of mixture of gum and rice powder. So as the statement says, for the painting only red pigment is used, this is incorrect, because red ochre is used for the base while painting is done with the white pigment. Fine. Find the correct answer. Our answer would be 2 and 3, that is only 2 are correct. That brings us to the next question of today's discussion, which is inspired from this news. And as you know, that Satluj Yamuna link canal issue is long pending between the state of Punjab and Haryana. And there was a meeting to reach out to a resolution, but again, it was inconclusive. So as we have already covered interstate water dispute topics, so we have taken up a prelims question based on the Indus River system, because Satluj is part of Indus River system. So before moving to that, just briefly look into some important details related to Satluj Yamuna canal. So it runs for about 121 kilometer in Punjab and 90 kilometer in Haryana. Okay, but look at the irrigation potential in different state. It runs for 121 kilometer in Punjab, but it will irrigate around 1.28 lakh hectare in Punjab. However, the 90 kilometer stretch of Haryana, it will irrigate 4.46 lakh hectare. Okay, so that is why this is so important for Haryana, but Punjab and Haryana are unable to reach to a decision, amicable solution to distribution regarding the distribution of the water, and this project is lingering on for many years. So UPSC theme of river origin, where they what is their travel path, all are important from the perspective of UPSC examination. As in 2019, you can see they have given you the origin of various rivers and asked you to find correct pair. On a similar line, we have created an MCQ which includes the river Yamuna, Ravi, Chenab and Byas. Okay, so let's begin with Yamuna. So the pair of Yamuna, that is Bhandarpunj, is correctly matched because it originates from Yamunotri glacier, which is located in the southwest slope of slope of Bhandarpunj peak. Okay, and it lies in the Uttarkashi district of Uttarakhand. Fine, so this pair is correctly matched. Now, Ravi River. For Ravi River, they have given the origin Bara Bengal, which is again correct. It lies sorry, Bara Bengal. It is a correct match because it lies in the Kangra district of Himachal Pradesh, and very near to this Bara Bengal lies the Rohtang Pass, which is origin of Byas River. So 1, 2 and 4 are correctly matched. Problem is with the origin of Chenab, because Chenab originates at the confluence of two rivers, that is Chandra and Bhaga, and location is Tandi, which lies in the Lahul Spiti district of Himachal Pradesh. Okay, while Rakshastal is origin of Satluj Lake. the Satluj River, and it lies in the Mansarovar range in the Tibet. So Satluj is a trans boundary river which enters through Shipkila in India. So the only third pair is incorrectly matched and rest three are correctly matched. So our answer would be C, that is only 3. So the last question that is inspired from this news, which featured on page number 15 of the Hindu newspaper, and context is that Supreme Court Chief Justice of India has recommended the appointment of Chief Justices of 5 High Court. Now, judiciary, especially higher judiciary like Supreme Court and High Court, have been one of the favorite theme of UPSC examination. As you can see, in 2019 itself, they have asked a question based on provisions and procedures related to the Supreme Court of India. So we have created an MCQ based on the Collegium system. Statement 1 says, the President appoints the Chief Justice of High Courts based on the recommendation of a Collegium. Now this is the correct statement, because as news suggests that Collegium, which is headed by the CJI plus 2 senior most judges of Supreme Court, decides upon the names to elevate the existing High Court judges to Chief Justice of High Courts. Second statement says the President cannot send back the recommendations made by the Collegium for appointment for reconsideration. Now this is incorrect statement, because yes, President can send the recommendation for reconsideration once. But once the reconsideration has been done and again the names have been sent to the President, he has to give his assent to those names. So as it says that he cannot send it for reconsideration altogether, so statement is incorrect. So as we had to find the correct statement, our answer would be A, that is 1 only. Fine. So that concludes our prelim section. Let's move on to discuss the main section. Now, the first topic of main section is based on this news article, that is despair in distress. Now, you all must be aware of the recent episode of around 300 Indians who have been detained at French airport, and they have been deported or sent back to India. And most of them were illegal immigrants, migrants. So in this editorial, author is claiming that these illegal migrations, behind these illegal migration, agriculture stress or stress relating to agriculture sector is one of the most important reason. Okay, so agriculture sector as a theme is very important from the perspective of your examination, especially mains examination. As you can see here in paper 3 syllabus, they have specifically mentioned the major crops, cropping pattern, etc., issues and related constraints. So they have enlisted different sectors linking to the backward side and forward linkage of agriculture sector, and they have specifically mentioned that issues and related constraints. So from the perspective of UPSC examination, the issues and challenges are important. Further, if you will refer to the previous year question, you can find that I have just enlisted 4 questions from 2022, 5 questions from 2022 and 23. You can see here how agriculture sector has been a persistent theme in mains examination. If you will go back in during 2013-14, every year you will find 2-3 questions based on agriculture sector, different aspects of agriculture sector. Here you can see in 2022, they have asked question based on various types of revolutions in agriculture. Okay. Second question in 2022, they asked significance of the food processing industry, scope and significance. Third question, they asked that to identify the main bottlenecks in upstream and downstream process of marketing of agriculture produce. Okay. Third, they asked how does e-technology help farmer in production and marketing of agriculture produce. So solution to these challenges become basis for a question. Okay. Lastly, they asked explain the changes in cropping pattern in India in the context of change in consumption pattern and marketing condition. Okay. So what we are going to cover in this discussion, we will cover the challenges pertaining to agriculture sector and some way forward to address the issue. Now, in several discussion, often hear that what is the understanding that crop production, the overall growth, production of the cereals has increased. We have heard about the white revolution and other revolution related to eggs, vegetable, fish, etc. And we often hear that from a importing nation we become surplus and then we are on path exporting nation. So one must think that then what is the problem if everything is going fine? Problem lies in at differently that this quantitative are being conducted by, you will find the issue of food security has not been addressed properly. Further, if you will go through the data or the surveys, you will find there are regional disparities. Okay, there some regions are doing fairly well in production and marketing and everything, while other areas are deprived, food deprived, literally falling below what is required, minimum basic requirement of calories. Secondly, you will find those areas which are doing well are having their share of problem regarding the soil health, regarding the overutilization of water and etc. So that is why what looks very nice, if you will just look at it superficially, has various challenges if you will dig deeper. So let's begin our discussion by discussing the challenges pertaining to agriculture. Now, we will discuss them from the backward side, that is what has been the input towards agriculture sector. We will discuss some challenges related to practices. Then we will discuss some forward linkages. Okay, that challenges at every level 1, 2 and 3. Okay, so let's begin with the first and foremost important thing for agricultural practices is land. And now India faces a peculiar problem of fragmented land holding. Now what is it? Now if I can give you a simple example that let's say this is a parcel of land which is, let's say, 10 acre homogeneous land. Homogeneous land at one place having homogeneous quality. Now whatever investment you have to do for a homogeneous patch of land. Okay, and now this 10 acre, let's say, is can prove viable also in term of quantity that you can produce, in term of quality that you can produce. Now in India what will happen, that first random number to make you understand. Let's say now in this 10 acre, there are more than 20 to 25 farmers who have their holdings in this land. Now, it will look like a patchy work. Someone is growing something, quality is different, level of mechanization is different, their application of technology is different, seeds are different, irrigation capacity are different, and then think about the productivity of these small parcel of land. They would not be financially viable, okay, for the producer. Now, even if this had been seen, one can manage. Now, India, we have another issue. Single farmer will have small patches of land at different places, like few hectare here, few hectare after 10 kilometer. So it will be fragmented altogether. So one cannot apply the homogeneous technologies or homogeneous input altogether. So to just substantiate it with data, in 1975, the average land holding was 2.28 hectare. Now in 2015, this number has fallen to 1.08 hectare. This is average land holding. Fine. So it is not just about the economic viability of the produce or the quantity of the produce. Now just think that if a farmer goes with such a small land parcel for a credit, okay, he is not going to receive any. Now this lack of credit will ensue a cycle, a vicious cycle. Because of this land, they will lose the access to credit. Now this losing the access to credit, now their production is not financially viable. It is not giving them ample amount of earning. They are not having any credit. It is going to affect their income. Thus, the investment in agriculture will be hit adversely. Okay, when there is no investment, no improvisation, no input in your agriculture, it is going to affect the productivity, which will surely go down. And when your productivity will go down, again your income is going down and you are bound to get into debt trap. Because formal credit you are not getting. And to come out of this debt trap, most of the time, you are again forced to sell whatever the small patch of land that you have, that is further fragmentation of land. So it becomes an unending cycle which closes only when you are landless altogether. So from a landowner, you will transform into a laborer, and then only this cycle will stop. So this is the first problem. Second problem with Indian agriculture is low public investment. Now, what is public investment? Public investment is long-term investment which broadly has three major aims. First aim is to bring inclusivity, that is such investment, long-term investments should bring inclusive character with them, to which so that all the farmers can avail the benefit. Second is the sustainability. Okay, and third and major purpose of this long-term investment is to fill in the structural lacuna or gaps. So these long-term investment to bring inclusivity, to bring sustainability in agricultural practices, and to solve the structural problem marring the agriculture sector. Now you can take example of investment in irrigation facilities, investment in storage facilities, investment in R&D of seeds and other research related to the crops itself. So such long-term investment with an idea to bring inclusive sustainability and structural improvement is termed as public investment. What they are for. But India, we have a situation in this also, because out of the total GDP that agriculture produces, only 15% goes into investment. The GDP that agriculture produces. So if agricultural GDP is contributing rupees 100, only 15 is being used as an investment in long-term project with aim of bringing all these three. Such a low ratio. But things become even more worse when you will go to understand what government is expending. That out of this 15%, government is spending just 3%. Rest 12% is being spent by farmers and private players. Where government is spending more is even more issue of concern. Government is spending 8% of this agricultural GDP into subsidies. They are not investing in creating infra. They are investing just 3%. But they are investing 8% in subsidy. Now just recall these three aims. Now you have given the subsidy, which is being cornered by the rich farmers. So the inclusive character is gone. Second, when you are giving subsidies, there is indiscriminate use of fertilizer, water, groundwater, electricity, etc. So the sustainability point of view is gone, because overuse have their own repercussion in shape of soil salinity or the contamination, various contamination with groundwater and soil. So the sustainability is also gone. Third, that is structure problem. Now, if you are giving indiscriminate, if you are providing such a big amount, will boost the misuse. Now, the structural problem like electricity. Now, you are providing free electricity as subsidy. So, indiscriminate use of water, are not paying attention to how to use water, how to use. So, again, the groundwater. Then, if you are providing MSP and subsidy, it affects cropping pattern. In want of more price and lucrative remuneration, people have gone to invest in water guzzling crops in water distress. So the structure remains there because of these subsidies. Now just think that your investment, that long-term investment was aimed to focus on three things, but your pattern of investment, that is more in subsidy, is defeating all of. So another important issue is related to the water use efficiency. Okay, now we all know some facts related to water use in India, especially in agriculture. Let's just quickly revise that. We know 80% of water that is being used in India goes in agriculture sector. Okay, no issue. Problem is, out of this 80%, 60% is groundwater. Okay, so it is causing the depletion. This depletion will cause further problem for future generation in pursuing the agriculture as a activity or as a job or as a profession. So third thing is 52% of the net sown area of India is rain fed. Now rain fed area show 3 times less productivity because of the water stress, because they are dependent on the monsoon and its variability, everything. So their productivity is low. So already you have 52% area where productivity is low. Whatever is remaining, you are depleting the groundwater there. What will happen? It will ultimately impact the overall agricultural sector. Now, Niti Aayog in their Composite Water Management Index, they have highlighted that India is facing the gravest crisis of water. These year, they have highlighted this decade as the decade of crisis, and they are saying situation would be tough to handle by 2000. And by that estimate, Niti Aayog 2 lakh life per year scarcity of water at present, more than 2 lakh death per year on the GDP. It can bring or it can cause a loss of 6% to the GDP. Now, agriculture being an important part of GDP is bound to face this. Okay, that 6% going down of the GDP. So, water use efficiency, because we have a clear cut gap between the what is the irrigation potential created and what irrigation potential being utilized. So we are not up to mark there. Secondly, due to the subsidies and free electricity, we have been overutilizing the water. We are logging the fields, which causes soil salinity and etc. So this is another issue related to that is machineries and equipments in farming sector. Percentage varies from 25 to 45%. This is regional variability across India. Northern India have a better farmization than the southern India. While if you will compare this data with some developed country, farm mechanization. Why? Mechanization. Now, why it is important? First, the productivity. Second, it will help in reducing the feminization of agriculture, because we see that in most of the villages, women have been engaged in the farming sector. Now these mechanization will help reduce that burden. Fine. And further, uh, fine. Is there any complaining voice? Can anyone confirm that if voice is fine now, so we can proceed? Okay, okay, fine. So it will help in reducing the feminization of agriculture, plus it will increase, it will help in reducing the labor cost altogether. Okay. Further, another issue is lack of diversification. And what do you understand by diversification? Diversification basically relates to two things. First is shifting from monocropping to multicropping. Secondly, it relates to engagements in allied activities like horticulture, poultry, etc. So multi-cropping means growing pulses, oilseed, etc. Now, as we discussed that subsidies, the cause of the repercussion of indiscriminate subsidies, people are more inclined towards these cereal crops like wheat and rice, and pulses are almost neglected. They hardly constitute 10% of the total grain production. So plus we are moving towards unscientific farming. We are going for water intensive crops in areas where water is stressed. So we need to transform our agricultural practice from monocropping to multicropping because of various reasons. Because this monocropping is a danger for future also. Suppose just a disease spreads. Now majority of area is under single type of crop, cereal crop. Now you will not be having any kind of hedge against those that disease. Further, multi-cropping is also required for the food security, because these pulses, these core cereals are easily accessible because of their low prices, are easily accessible to every strata of society. Secondly, these crops can be grown in rain-fed area and area where rainfall is less. Thirdly, they are nutrient rich. And what we are growing, that is wheat and rice, they hardly have any kind of nutrient in them. So in all kind of food security can be addressed through multi cropping, plus engaging oneself into allied activities like horticulture, poultry, sericulture, etc. will give the farmers to will give farmers a scope to diversify their proposition of income also. They can raise their income, they can diversify their portfolio, and they can make a hedge, a security net around their agricultural practices. The next very important challenge is disguised unemployment. Now, what is it? Now, this unemployment does not have any direct contribution to the economic output of the country or a economy. But what it reflects poor productivity. How? Now, just take example of an agricultural land. Now, we have seen it is a very small patch, very small land holding, around 1 hectare per person, average land holding. Now, an entire family is employed in this on this patch of land. Let's say 20 or 30 people are employed just on this small patch. Now, what would be the productivity? There are too many people for a very small job. So it will result into poor productivity. They all will feel that it will give an impression that they all are employed, but basically the productivity, the earning would be so low that they are for all practical purpose, they should be considered as unemployed. And that is why the agricultural sector is considered to be heaven of disguised unemployment, and you can substantiate it with data that around 46% of India's population is engaged in agricultural activities, but it only contributes around 17% of the gross value added in the economy. So almost half of the population is producing just 17, that is less than 1/5 of the GDP or the gross value added in the economy. So you can imagine how low is the productivity, and that is why the term disguised unemployment. Now, another challenge that is facing the entire humanity, so is true with the agriculture, is the climate change. Now, rising temperature are impacting the cropping patterns, plus productivity, plus rising temperature are very much conducive for the spread of various diseases. So again, a threat to crop failure, plus these rising temperature are going to aggravate whatever problem we have already discussed regarding water use and input cost, because it is going to impact every aspect of agricultural activity. You can talk about crops, you can talk about the poultry, you can talk about the horticulture, every activity which is related to agriculture sector, which the major contributor is nature. If climate change is going to continue like this, because in previous DNS you might have learned that the average temperature has risen by 2 degrees Celsius. So if it is going to rise like this, it is going to impact the overall agricultural activities in India and in entire world. Fine. Now come to the forward linkages, that after everything we have learned regarding the input side, the agriculture itself, the practice itself. Now let's move to the post harvest issues. First is the post harvest losses, and it starts from the farmer itself till the storage stage, till transportation, and market. At every stage there is huge loss of agricultural produce because of lack of storage facilities, because of lack of proper chain value, this transport chain, that operational management chain. Because once the crop is harvested, its loss in term of quantity as well as quantity starts from the farm itself, and it goes on till it reaches to the market or to the consumer. At every stage there is loss of quality as well as quantity due to lack of infrastructure related to storage, plus transportation. This is another challenge. And if you can relate it to the export market, these are the reasons that the quality and quantity, which culminates into the poor prospect of export market of Indian agricultural produce, because they get tangled in the sanitary and other stringent norms of European countries and big markets like USA, because of this lack of infrastructure and storage facilities. Another issue is non-development of food processing industry. Now, as you have seen that it is one of the factor that contributes to the post-harvest losses, but non-development of food processing industry takes away the opportunity for a better remuneration. And it also takes away the opportunity to create a better marketable product. Okay, product and services altogether. A better marketable So what could have been a very good center, a growth pole for local community or surrounding these food processing industries, uh, non-development of such industries have resulted into lost opportunity, and still it is contributing to the losses of agricultural produce in India. Another issue is the agricultural marketing itself. Now you all know that most of the state have came up with their Agricultural Produce Regulation Act, that is APMC Act. Now state government become the regulator of these markets. Different states have their own APMC markets. Apart from this, there are more than 22,000 gram hearts, okay, or the village market, village level markets, which are being controlled by panchayats and local bodies. Okay, so what is the problem? Problem is that every state has their own APMC mandis or the markets, and along with these 22,000 gram hearts, what it results into? It results into fragmented market. There is no uniformity. Second, it is pro trader, not pro farmer. Trader gains at these market. Okay, so this is pro trader, this is fragmented, which results into lower income of farmer, which results into lower income of farmer because they are restrictive. And again, as income goes down, the perpetual cycle starts. You will be in debt trap. You will not be having any money for investment and all. So again, you will be stuck with that cycle altogether. Fine. So having seen the challenges relating to the agriculture sector, let us move to discuss some way forward. Now, suggesting way forward, always quote this new committee's recommendation, that is Ashok Dalwai committee, which was created for suggesting measures for farm sector reform and, to be very particular, doubling the farmer income. So what Dalwai committee suggested was very important. First, it gave a three-pillar strategy. What were those three pillars? It asked to reduce input cost. Second, it asked to improve productivity. Third, it asked to raise the prices that farmer get for their produce. Fine. So when we talked about mechanization, we said that there are low mechanization. Now, according to Dalwai committee, if India opts for mechanization, it can reduce the input cost, whatever the input is, like fertilizer, water, seed, etc., anything, electricity, anything. If we will go for mechanization, the Dalwai committee says that we can reduce our input cost by 25%. It says we can raise our productivity by 20% by bringing down this input cost and bringing up our productivity, the prices or the income of the farmer will raise by 25%. This is what Ashok Dalwai committee suggested, that we have to reduce the input cost. We have to focus on improving the productivity. That is second stage. Third, we have to raise the income of the farmer by providing them sufficient or what is right money as their income. Secondly, Dalwai committee talked about secondary agriculture, to promote secondary agriculture. Now, what is secondary agriculture? It has again three very important pillars. Secondary agriculture, first, it uses agricultural produce as raw material. So you are using agriculture produce as raw material. So to which you can relate it to the food processing industry. You are using this produce as a raw material to create something more valuable, okay, with longer shelf life, a bigger marketable prospect. Fine. So using agricultural produce as a raw material. This is just one example, food processing industry. Second, it says use local skill set. Use local human resource. Involve local human resource to expand the scope of agricultural sector. Thirdly, it says just a moment. Yes. Thirdly, it says treat agriculture sector as we treat or as we have planned for MSMEs. So provide them credit, provide them more facilities, like incentivize them to link them with the global demand or the market current economic demand. So these three steps he considers as secondary agriculture, and he talks about that we need to promote this secondary agriculture in order to address the issues related to agricultural sector. For land fragmentation, now this is something that you should understand, that most of the states have banned the land leasing by enacting some law. Okay. Now, the fragmented land, you have just seen in the previous discussion that that small patch of land is of no use for a farmer. Now, let's say farmer A has a very small land, which is not financially viable for him. Okay. Now, if farmer A gives it to farmer B as a lease rent agreement, through a lease rent agreement, now farmer A can get a rent, a fixed secure rent, plus farmer A can migrate or can find a better job opportunity, or you may say another job opportunity which can again help him in increasing his income. So one can go for job hunt after leasing out to B. Now B, who has leased out this land, has grown the area. Okay, so now he will be a beneficiary in terms of the remuneration or the produce or the prices that it gets, whatever input he is putting. Now he has a much homogeneous area, because the adjacent area which was there as a fragmented chunk is now part of his land under lease agreement. So overall, these lease rent agreement will boost the economy. They will give better money circulation. They will provide better productivity. They will result in better prospect for both A and B. Fine. So we must think about, or the states must think about, adopting the Model Land Lease Act, which was passed in the year 2016. And they must promote this land leasing and contract farming. And yes, stringent laws and provisions should be made that one should not be evicted. Like summary eviction should not be there, or there should be no land grabs. And for that we have to maintain some good land records. Okay, we have to digitalize their land record. That brings us to the third solution, that is water management. Now, answer lies in the simple mathematical equation. Whatever irrigation potential you have created, match it with whatever irrigation potential is being utilized first. This is the solution, because then how you can do it? You can do it with maintenance of created infra, which you already have invested crores of rupees creating a canal. First, you maintain that canal, utilize it to the full potential. Second, go for techniques like micro irrigation. Fine. Third, so the subsidy, the electricity subsidy, or the water bill subsidy, or waiver altogether, it must be rationalized in order to limit their misuse. Okay. Further, we can use the climate resilient technology for preservation, conservation, and better utilization of water, etc. These are the things which we can use to better our water management, along with promoting the climate smart agriculture, using appropriate crop at appropriate places and discouraging those crops which are not fit for the given environment. Lastly, we have seen already that farm mechanization, how it can improve the situation. In the first topic, that farm mechanization will result in 25% reduction in input cost, 20% increase in productivity, and 25% rise in income. Apart from this, what we should learn from our green revolution era, that yes, we need a second green revolution, but this time we must be thoughtful of the agriculture, water, and energy nexus. Earlier, in when we took up the green revolution, we were more focused upon the issue of productivity. We wanted, we were in a crunch, we were facing food scarcity, so our main focus was toward raising the productivity to ensure the security. But now when we are going to whenever we will plan for another green revolution, we must be thoughtful about the agriculture, energy, and the water nexus, and we should make a strategy that should include all three pillars related to agriculture. Fine. Second is the use of biotechnology and breeding, which will be helpful in developing eco-friendly, disease-resistant, climate-resilient, and more nutritious and diversified crop varieties. Third, use of digital technology and extension services to dissemination of information and generating awareness. Now, most important thing, that post-harvest loss management and a revamp of cooperative movement through formation of farmer produce organization can arrest the volatility in food prices and farmers' income and help harness the true potential of Indian agricultural sector. So that was all for this first topic. Now the second topic of today's discussion is based on these two news articles. Both are related to the Indo-Russia relation, and this one featured, that is old and strong, it featured in the Hindu newspaper, while not zero sum is featured in the Hindu newspaper, the Indian Express newspaper. Okay, and context is same, that our external affairs minister Mr. S. Jaishankar is on a visit to Russia, and both the countries, the premier of the Russian Federation Mr. Vladimir Putin and S. Jaishankar have acknowledged the time-tested partnership between India and Russia, which has remained stable in turbulent time and has remained resilient. Okay, some important key takeaways from these meetings are as follows. Both sides acknowledge, and now pay focus on these terms, because these terms will be the basis of the further discussion. Both countries acknowledged that the ties are strong as they are based on strategic convergence, geopolitical interest, and are mutually beneficial. Now, we will come back to this point. Okay. So, for further discussions, there was a meeting of India-Russia Intergovernmental Commission, which acknowledged the development made in bilateral trade, which for the first time crossed 50 billion turnover last year, largely owing to the hydrocarbons which we imported from Russia. Now, connectivity was also discussed, and steps were discussed to improve connectivity using North-South Transport Corridor, that is NSTC, and connectivity from Eastern India from Chennai to Vladivostok and polar route were also discussed. Fine. So, why this news or this visit is so important? It is important in the context of the current or the contemporary geopolitical scenario. Fine. What are they? Because first is that there were several speculation. Now, there is a tradition of annual leadership meeting between the Indian Prime Minister and Russian President. Now, it continued from the year 2000 till 2021 without a break. But in 2022 as well as in 2023, our Prime Minister gave it a skip to this annual meet. Now, this fueled the speculation that something or everything is not fine between India and Russia, and something bad is going on between the two countries. But this meeting and the statement that has been given has put a rest to all those speculation that something is not good, something is worrisome between two countries, because the terms that they have used are so powerful, and they both have recognized that no, we are having a time tested and resilient partnership, bilateral partnership, and both the language and the documents are positively worded and positively looking. So it put rest to all those speculation. This is the first significance. Now, there were several bilateral agreements and collaboration, and these collaboration and agreements are in the backdrop of sanction of the Western world against Russia. So thus it becomes even more important, because we discussed the Kudankulam nuclear power project, we discussed connectivity. Apart from this, there were talks about the free trade agreement of India with the Eurasian Economic Union. So, which is an important step. And during this time, when the Russia is facing all kind of sanction, and any country who is trying to maintain the relation or maintain the diplomatic channel is being cornered or being threatened by the Western Bloc led by USA. Further, you all know recently BRICS have included or gave membership to 6 new nations like Argentina, UAE, Saudi, etc. So Russia is going to host this expanded BRICS summit in 2024. And these platforms, these multilateral platforms, if you have the coordination and you have that cooperation with the host country or the member nations, then India can pursue whatever the agenda it wants to, whatever the standpoint it wants to. So there were talk related to this upcoming BRICS summit also, and this is a very good step because this expanded BRICS summit will open the gate of opportunity for India. Okay, now you all know that we have continuously, despite the sanction, we kept on buying the hydrocarbon, we kept on buying the ammunition and whatever the deal related to defense sector, we continued that. So it shows the resilience or the durability or the enduring nature of the relation between India and Russia. Now, as this meeting, the next point, that consistency in world politics. Now geopolitics changes over time and interest become the permanent or the most important thing among bilateral for bilateral relation or multilateral relation. But the consistency, because Russian side characterized this ties as only constant in world politics over 6 decades. So they have characterized ties with India as only constant that has only constant in this world politics in last 6 decades. Now this means a lot for bilateral relation. Now thirdly, as I said, that remember these words, that is strategic convergence, geopolitical interest and mutually beneficial. They have recognized each other relation. Now through this they are recognizing that this world, which is like presently, if we talk about practical terms, it is a fight going on between USA and China. Now India and Russia have identified that their geopolitical and strategic interests align, they converge, so they have placed themselves as a key player in this multipolar world. Okay, and that is why these terms are very important when you come up with some statement regarding bilateral agreement. Okay, now why this was required, why this came as a respite, this meeting, this terminology, these steps, why they came as a respite? Because of the changing geopolitics and implications on relationship. First reason is very obvious, that is Ukraine war. Now, in Ukraine war, many a times India abstained from voting against the resolution that has been brought against Russia. So, it was accused by the Western world for not taking side or not holding Russia accountable. Simultaneously, USA was pressuring India to follow the sanction and to abide by the sanction and not to deal with Russia in purchase of hydrocarbon, oil and ammunition. So India walked a tightrope and circumvented all these challenges and maintained these ties. Second issue is Indo-US ties. Now India is having better and better ties with USA. Now Russia looks it as a Cold War strategy tactics, Cold War times tactic, and does not like such inclination of India, and it has openly termed it as their Asian, their move as the grouping like Quad and Indo-Pacific strategy of USA, Russia openly terms it as Asian NATO. So Russia is not having good view of Indo-US growing Indo-US ties. Further, Russia and Chinese bonhomie is on the rise. On multiple factor, China is the largest importer of Russian hydrocarbon. The 77% of its ammunition arms imports come from Russia, and one of the biggest trade partner of Russia is China. So these are the factors. Along with this, both the country have a convergence that they are finding scope or probability of using Arctic Sea to utilize it as their sea lane of transportation and communication for future references. So it is growing, and off lately, Russia has shown some engagement with Pakistan also. So this worries India most, and India has registered its concern regarding the joint military practices and all. But what is important that Russia has its place, at least you can say in Eurasian region. It can facilitate the India's interest, and it can also play an spoil sport in that region. Further, in Central Asia, Russia has a good hold. And after the Talibanese occupation of Afghanistan, uh, this you may say compatibility or close ties with Russia was looked upon as an important instrument to engage with Taliban or to engage in the geopolitics of that region. Further, Russia of lately has been growing its stature in West Asia also. So it is not just about the stature of Russia or anything. As we have discussed earlier, Russia has remained a time-tested power of India, friend of India. So India must think about growing the economic ties and must diversify the basket. It should not be heavily tilted towards the just arm imports, some other or the hydrocarbons. It should include other aspect of commodities also. And India can use, it is a far-fetched idea, but India can use its position in the global geopolitics to sorten out things between Russia and USA also. And if India could manage such things and is able to pull out such thing, that would be good for country also as well as entire world too. So that's all for today's session. You can drop your queries in the comment box. Our team will respond you as early as possible. And like the video if you find it helpful. Share it with your friends and do subscribe the Raus IAS Study Circle official channel. Thank you so much.